Welcome to the BettingPros PGA podcast. I'm Pat Fitzmaurice along with Bo McBrayer. Just two more events remaining in the PGA Tour season, and today we will preview the penultimate event, the BMW Championship. But first, a quick recap of the very first tournament of the three-week FedEx Cup playoffs, the FedEx St. Jude Classic, FedEx St. Jude Championship. Justin Rose outlasted JJ Spaun in a playoff to win the first playoff event. It was a pretty entertaining playoff. Both players parred the first playoff hole. Spaun rolled in a 30-foot birdie putt on the second playoff hole that forced Rose to roll in a very nervy 7-footer for his birdie. Then on the third playoff hole, Rose sunk an 11.5-footer for birdie, and JJ Spaun missed a 7-footer for his birdie. So Englishman Justin Rose gets a big win. Unfortunately, the FedEx St. Jude delivered another tale of woe for Justin Rose's countryman, Englishman Tommy Fleetwood. Poor Tommy's still looking for his first PGA Tour win. He raced out to the lead with a 63 and a 64 over his first two rounds, slipped a bit with a 69 on Saturday, but still took a slim lead into the final round and was in it until the end on Sunday. But Fleetwood fell out of a tie for the lead with a bogey on the 17th. Hit a poor approach shot on that hole. Still had a chance to make par, but then badly pushed a 7-foot par putt. Then he put a tee shot into a bunker on 18 to effectively kill his chances to join the playoff. Just seems like the victory drought is in Fleetwood's head at this point. He finished tied for third along with Scottie Scheffler. Bo, your takeaways from the FedEx St. Jude?
It was a tale of attrition, really. It was tough. You could tell they were dealing with the heat and humidity in there in Memphis, and Tommy was up and down. He was awesome the first 2 days. We got off to this great start, and everybody's saying, "Oh, is this the week that we go?" Cam Young breaks his own curse, and then the very next week, Tommy gets off the schneid. A lot of people were floating that idea. I was interested to see how his putting would turn out. It wasn't his putting that sunk him this time. It usually is. This time it was just timely misses, short-sighting himself, missing bad fairways where it's a birdie hole, but instead he's having to scramble to make par on birdie holes. And that happened over the whole weekend where he was barely around par, and everybody else seemed to kind of keep up that high 60s, mid to high 60s scoring average that the course was giving them the whole week. Tommy just didn't have enough at the end. Rose and JJ Spaun got hot in the final two rounds, especially Rose. Rose is so impressive, 45 years young. I don't think that matters at all. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's 45, just turned 45 a week ago, 45. I was like, that's so what? It's like, this is a professional athlete at the top of his game. He's been doing this for 20 years. He's never been the kind of guy that's had a thrashing swing that's been hard on his body. Guy's just a golfer. And I know golfers that are over 70, 80 years old that still have the same game, if not better game than they did when they were 45. So I'm not on the ageist train where I'm surprised that Justin Rose won a big golf tournament at age 45. It's just not that big of a deal. They made way too much of a deal out of it. I think it's most impressive that Justin Rose was clutch. And Justin Rose has been clutch this season, now a couple wins, and really pushing himself into that Tour Championship conversation in a couple weeks or next week. The tournament was just, I think, once Tommy got off to a lead, I was just thinking, how is he going to lose it? Not if he's going to lose it. I already knew he wasn't going to finish it off. He never does. I kind of thought that Scottie would come in with more steam, but he couldn't find the shots either on Sunday to kind of make a really big push. He was just kind of floating there, hovering around his top five when his game isn't quite as good as it could be. Scottie doesn't win, but he's always right there. What is it like? He's made the top 8 in 12 tournaments in a row. That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Overall, the tournament was very entertaining. JJ Spaun playing out of his mind this season. What a story he is. Kurt Kitayama with a top 10 vaults himself into the top 30 conversation going into the week. So it was a very entertaining tournament. Kind of unfolded how I thought it would. Some of my guys that I bet on faded after the first 2 days, but it was fun. I like Justin Rose, so I was happy to see him win.
Yeah, if only my old man game was as sharp as Justin Rose's, I would be very happy.
He's just been good a long time.
He has been. We'll get to the betting preview for the BMW Championship in just a moment, but first,
Download the free BettingPros app for iOS and Android. With Sportsbook Sync, you can automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including game picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. Get your own 7-day free trial of BettingPros Premium by downloading the app at bettingpros.com/apps using code JUICE and activating your trial on the upgrade screen.
FedEx Cup playoffs began with 70 players. Now it's down to the top 50 playing in the BMW Championship. The top 30 will then advance to the season-ending Tour Championship next week. The BMW Championship will not have a cut. All 50 players will play all 4 rounds. Well, it's actually 49 players now because Sepp Straka has withdrawn. The BMW is the one playoff event with a course rotation, and this year's BMW will be played at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills, Maryland. Caves Valley is a Tom Fazio design that opened in 1991. It's a par 70 that will play to 7,601 yards. It's a long course. And if you're wondering why it's so long, the last time the BMW was held at Caves Valley was 2021. Patrick Cantlay and Bryson DeChambeau absolutely tore the place to ribbons, both of them finishing 27 under par. Cantlay won a memorable 6-hole playoff. 7 players finished 20 under par or better that week. 21 players finished 15 under par or better. There were 70 players in the field that week. All of them were under par for the tournaments. In fairness, rain had softened the course in 2021. They were playing lift clean in place because the fairways were so soggy. But there is clearly a PGA Tour mandate for this course to be less of a turkey shoot this time around. In 2021, Caves Valley was a par 72 that played to around 7,500 yards. Now it's a par 70 measuring around 7,600 yards. All but 2 of the par 4s are at least 467 yards. One is 525, another's 521. The 2 par 5s are both nearly 600 yards long. All of the par 3s are at least 197 yards. 2 par 3s on the back bow are both 245 yards. Now, the fairways have been narrowed a bit and the rough has been lengthened, although missing the fairway on this course is still not exactly a death sentence. But big hitters should have an edge here. The greens are bent grass, and they're expected to roll at about a 12.5 on the stimp meter. Keegan Bradley will be trying to defend his BMW Championship. He won at Castle Rock in Colorado last year. The weather forecast this week calls for more heat, daily highs in the low to mid-90s throughout the tournament. There might be some rain the day before the tournament starts, but there's not supposed to be any rain during the event, and the wind should be light all 4 days. Bo, what is your take on the leaner and meaner version of Caves Valley?
It's still extremely easy. Extremely easy. This is going to be another turkey shoot where they're not going to get the lift clean in place. They're playing the ball down, most likely with sunshine in the forecast. This course is extremely easy for these guys. 7,600 yards. It's the longest golf course on the tour this year. Doesn't matter. These guys, it does not matter. These guys are going to tear this place up. There's going to be birdie chances out the yin yang. You're going to look for guys that have driving distance advantage. Your longest hitters on tour get a big boost here because they're going to be hitting shorter clubs than the rest of the field. There's only 49 guys in the field, so we already know who the usual suspects are. We'll get into that when we talk about the odds, but this golf course is still extremely easy. The rough is not very penal, even though the fairways are narrower. They're going to get a lot of rollout. There's a lot of elevation change on this golf course, which means some of those very long par 4s are so far downhill that you're still hitting a wedge into them. The par 5s, there's only 2 of them now. They're still very gettable. And the par 4s that they converted didn't make them any more of an easy or a more difficult hole. It just took a stroke off par. I still think we're going to see scores somewhere in that 20 to 25 under range for the win. 27 probably not, but 20 to 25 is very, very likely here with no cut. I don't think they could do anything to this course to make it field proof.
Yeah, it does seem like it's, I don't know, the fairways are kind of wide. The greens are pretty big. Some are a little narrow, but for the most part, still a big target to hit for these guys.
And they're receptive. This is going to be target practice.
Yeah, definitely. We will get to the odds in just a moment, right after a word about our sponsor, Novig.
Are you looking for a smarter way to play? There's a new sports trading platform that's changing the game. It's called Novig. It's legal in most states, including Georgia, California, and Texas. It's peer-to-peer, which means you're competing against other users and not the house. You can often get better lines than traditional sportsbooks. You can set your own lines, which gives you control most sportsbooks just don't offer. There are no commissions or hidden fees. Seriously. It takes a coin deposit system, but it is real money. And you can use code DAILYJUICE for 50% off your first coin purchase up to $25. Check it out now at bettingpros.com/juice. That's bettingpros.com/juice. Our colleague Mike Mayer is on it every single day. He's a no-vig fanatic and is always dropping screenshots and pics in our Discord. If you have any questions, he's very happy to help.
On to the odds for the BMW Championship. All odds are courtesy of DraftKings as of Monday afternoon. Some of these odds may have changed by the time you consume this show. Scottie Scheffler opens as the favorite at plus 230. Rory McIlroy, who skipped the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs, is plus 700. Xander Schauffele and Tommy Fleetwood are plus 2,000. Patrick Cantlay and Justin Thomas are plus 2,200. Ludvig Aberg is plus 2,500. JJ Spawn, Colin Morikawa, Cameron Young, Sam Burns, and Russell Henley are all plus 3,000. Matt Fitzpatrick, Keegan Bradley, Ben Griffin, and Chris Gotterup are plus 3,500. And Justin Rose is plus 4,000. What are we doing with Scottie Scheffler, Bo? And if you're not betting him, who is headlining your betting card at the BMW?
I'm not betting him. Plus 230 is insane. This golf course is very easy, and Scotty has traditionally done pretty well at very easy scoring events, but not better than Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy, especially with a course that rewards driving distance, this is a bomber's paradise. Rory McIlroy plus 700, extreme value compared to Scottie Scheffler. I'm not saying don't bet Scottie Scheffler. I'm just saying I'm not betting Scottie Scheffler because I'm all in on Rory McIlroy plus 700, 7-1 odds for a guy who's picture perfect made for this golf course. Took the week off, didn't have to suffer heat exhaustion in Memphis last week. Rory McIlroy is a very, very easy pick for me at the top of this board. I also like Ludvig Aberg. Ludvig Aberg, in previous golf courses, you're like, oh, he needs to be able to chip and putt and get out of jams. There's none of that here. This golf course is point and shoot, and Ludvig Aberg is as good of a ball striker as you're going to find. He's also a pretty long hitter. Not the longest, but very long by his own credit. And when it comes to birdie fests, there's nobody I like more than Ludvig Aberg. If you're going inside of the 40-1 guys, I'm also going to be on Viktor Hovland at 35-1. He's another ball striker extraordinaire who doesn't typically do well when you need to scramble and get out of jams. But when you just point and shoot, it's, again, a guy that I figure his ball striking is going to be very well tailored to this golf course, and he can go low with the best of them.
Yeah, Aberg is starting to show some life. He'd been not really himself for most of the spring and summer, but he was 8th at the Scottish Open, 23rd at the Open Championship, 9th last week at the FedEx St. Jude. You mentioned Scotty versus Rory. Bo, back at Caves Valley in 2021, I believe Scotty finished 22nd, and Rory McIlroy finished 4th. And Rory has also finished top 7 in each of his last 3 events. He ranks 3rd in strokes gained off the tee, 4th in strokes gained putting. Hasn't been great this year on the longer approaches, though, Bo. Does that bother you at all? He's 157th in approach shots from 150 to 175 yards, 95th in approaches from 175 to 200 yards. Seems like that might kind of be the range for a lot of these approach shots at Caves Valley.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it a little differently. When you filter for courses that are this length, he does a lot better. From 175 to 200 on these types of courses, he's 11th in this field. And on the longer approaches, 200 plus, he's number 2 in this field, right behind some guy named Scottie Scheffler. So when it comes to longer courses, if he is forced into those buckets, then he's a lot better than he is if he's forced into those buckets on a shorter, more positional golf course that might have forced layups, putting him in those buckets. I think he's all systems go here, especially since he's going to be looking at a lot shorter clubs in that range than the rest of the field.
Let's talk about Xander for a minute. He was 22nd last week at the FedEx St. Jude. Back at Caves Valley in 2021, he was 49th, and he's outside the top 100 in strokes gained off the tee and strokes gained putting. Any reason to be interested in Xander this week?
Xander in general is a good pick at any point in time, but what's worrying me about this tournament in particular is his ability to make birdies or better. He's going to have to make a lot of birdies, and right now I kind of put Xander in that grinder only. His current form is where if the conditions get tough, then I like Xander a lot more. But when you need to go 20 or better under par, then Xander in this field is 22nd in birdies or better percentage. Not going to cut it for his odds.
All right, let's talk about the Brits. Like I can't back Tommy Fleetwood at relatively short odds. I mean, he looked so nervous on Sunday on the 17th hole when the tournament was on the line, Bo. Like I think that for him to finally break this non-winning streak, he's going to need to win in a runaway. And I don't think there's much chance he's running away from a field this good. Like if you want to bet
him, a runaway set up for him last week. He
really did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to bet him for a top 5 or a top 10, fine. But betting him outright seems like lighting your money on fire.
I haven't bet him outright since 2023, so I wouldn't know.
All right, Justin Rose, though, at 40-1. I mean, he's been red hot with the win this past week, a 6th at the Scottish Open, a 16th at the Open Championship. Didn't play Caves Valley in 2021. And Rose doesn't have great driving stats this year. I guess that would be the concern. But his driving wasn't problematic this past week. I mean, he did almost put one of his drives on the playoff holes into a pond, got a lucky break, or maybe that was in the run up to the playoff hole. Maybe it was just before, but I don't know. Are we getting value out of Justin Rose at 40-1?
I mean, it's right where I would put him. I'm not interested this week because he's not exactly your runaway birdie type of guy. Neither is Fleetwood. So Fleetwood 39th in birdie or better, Rose 14th, but Rose is dead last in all of your off the tee metrics, as well as off on just general approach. He's 35th and also 22nd middle of the pack in driving distance. So I'm lukewarm on both of them. I obviously would never bet Tommy Fleetwood to win a tournament, but Rose has the upside to win the tournament, but I just don't see him quite having enough firepower here with this field being so strong, full of guys that are much better fits for this golf course.
Fair enough. I've been off Patrick Cantlay most of the season, but he is interesting this week considering that he won here in 2021 and is coming off a 9th at the FedEx St. Jude. He drives the ball well, and he's been good on his longer approaches this year. Plus, he's probably one good finish away from locking up a Ryder Cup invitation. What do you think about Cantlay?
I mean, it's kind of the sucker bet of the week. I really do think that people are looking at his history more than his present. And if you look at his present, he's dead last in this field at putting on bent grass. Not great. He's 31st in birdie or better percentage. Yes, he did really well here. Basically lit this place up in 2021 at 27 under, matched Bryson DeChambeau shot for shot all week and took 6 playoff holes to decide that. He's a vastly different golfer this year in 2025 than he was in 2021, where he was very much at the peak of his powers at that time. This is, for me, the ultimate like overinflated odds of the week because of what he's done in the past versus what he's done for us lately. 9th last week has no bearing on this week because we're talking about 2 vastly different golf courses. Good vibes aside, I don't see Cantlay as a value at all this week.
Yeah. What about Cameron Young? Very hot. He won the Wyndham Championship 2 weeks ago. Just finished 5th at the FedEx St. Jude. Ranks outside the top 100 in strokes gained on approach, but he does rank better on the longer approaches than from wedge distance.
This is a guy who, if you can see him slip a little bit farther than where he is currently, I'm all over it because talk about upside. He's got that big albatross off his back. Finally won a golf tournament on the PGA Tour. He's got all the firepower. He's got the driving distance and spades. We worry about his approach game, but it's also been a lot better in the last few starts. He's a good birdie maker. He's been a vastly improved putter, and bent grass is his best surface. So where I don't like him where he is right this second at 35-1, if he slips to 40 or 45, you're going to bet your britches I'm going to be on Cameron Young this week, because he's got that firepower and the good vibes going from that win. It's going to be fun to watch, see what he can do following up that performance a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Now, Sam Burns finished 8th here in 2021, but, he's cooled off considerably after a pretty hot late spring, early summer, has not had a top 25 finish since June. And Chris Gotterup finished 54th last week, but he had been piping hot before the playoffs began, crushes the ball off the tee. And while Gotterup's approach stats haven't been that good overall, they're pretty good in that 150-yard to 200-yard range. All right, let's look at more of the odds. Hideki Matsuyama, Corey Connors, and Sungjae Im are plus 5,000. Robert McIntyre, Ricky Fowler, Kurt Kitayama, Harris English, Akshay Bhatia, and Shane Lowry are all plus 5,500. Maverick McNeely and Harry Hall are plus 6,000. Taylor Pendrith is plus 6,500. Jason Day, Andrew Novak, and Siwoo Kim are plus 8,000. And Brian Harmon is plus 9,000. Do any of these mid-range options stand out, Bo?
Long golf course, long approach distances, and a renewed sense of making birdies. Shout out NorCal, Kurt Kitayama, as he's as hot as anybody in the world right now. Went from outside the top 100 to inside the top 35 in a span of 3 weeks. This guy is scorching hot. He's one of the longest hitters on tour. He's one of the best long iron players in the world, has been for the last 3 years. Kurt Kitayama, piping hot, getting great odds at plus 5,000. That's your hammer of the week right there. It's like not just a guy that I know personally being a homer. This guy is absolutely scorching, and he is getting extremely good odds on a golf course that is perfectly fit for his game. I can't wait to watch what he can do to this golf course with the form he's entering the week on. And then I'm also a little bit on Taylor Pendrith at 65-1. He's that long hitter, good ball striker, and kind of been picking up the putting a little bit better these last few weeks. So don't be surprised if Taylor Pendrith starts to make a lot of low scores. It puts together clusters of birdies and puts himself in contention at 65-1. I've done crazier stuff with $5.
Yeah, Kitayama also possibly positioning himself for a Ryder Cup spot if he can finish strong these last 2 weeks.
He's got the clutch gene, Pat. Ice water in his veins.
On the other side of the Ryder Cup, it seems like 55-1 is a pretty good price for Robert MacIntyre, who was a rock solid all around game, except for maybe his wedge play, which probably isn't going to come into play very much this week. And this is a guy who just seems to answer the call in big moments, Bo. And this is a pretty big moment with 2 tournaments left. So I like him at 55-1. Sungjae Im is starting to sort of come out of a slump. He's finished 27th and 17th the last 2 weeks, and he finished 3rd at Caves Valley in 2021. So he does seem to like this course. Let's move on to the long shots, Bo. Not many guys we haven't talked about already or listed as far as odds. There are 14 players in the field with odds of 100-1 or longer for an outright win. Are any of them worth considering?
I have one guy at 110-1, and that's Sam Stevens. Top 5 in strokes gained tee to green. Off the tees in the top 10. Birdies are better, top 10. He's top 15 in putting on bent. Not the best on approach, but a very, very good off the tee player. 11th in this field in driving distance. I think that he's going to put himself in a lot of positions. I don't necessarily like betting Sam Stevens very often, but 110-1 where it's only 49 guys in the field, it means he's only got to beat 48 guys, and he's playing really well lately. I think I'll take a flyer on Sam Stevens at 110-1.
Speaking of flyers, Jhonattan Vegas is a guy who seems to show up occasionally at birdie fests. I don't really like him outright this week, but a top 10 at plus 550. I mean, Johnny Vegas is a streaky guy, and he's coming off a pretty good showing at the FedEx St. Jude, where he was 14th. All right, who do you have on your early betting card, Bo?
I have Rory McIlroy at plus 700, Ludvig Aberg at plus 2,500, Viktor Hovland at 35-1, Kurt Kitayama 50-1, Taylor Pendrith at 65, and Sam Stevens at 110-1.
You have talked me into Ludvig Aberg at 25-1. I'm going to place a little something on him. I also like Cameron Young at 30-1. And I'm making bets on a couple of Euros. Justin Rose at 40-1 and Robert MacIntyre at 55-1. And I will put down that Jhonattan Vegas top 10 bet at plus 550.
Solid.
Now for our one and done picks. Bo had locker room menace Wyndham Clark last week. He tied for 56th, earning $45,800. I had Viktor Hovland. He tied for 32nd, earning $111,166.67. And with 1 week left to play, Bo has banked about $8.8 million. I'm about $950,000 behind. I need to make a major ground in this, the final week, but Bo has the honors. Who are you taking, Bo?
I'm still trying to find a guy I haven't taken yet.
Uh-oh. Bo has used up all the big guns. Jhonattan Vegas is still available, Bo.
I know he is. All right. It is going to have to be Colin Morikawa.
Colin Morikawa. Let's see if he can turn it on in this event. I'm going to go with Ludvig Aberg since you talked me into him, Bo. And that way you can take credit, even if I catch you from behind and beat you in this event. And that's going to do it for this week's Betting Pros PGA podcast. Please join us again next week for our final show of the season. We'll be doing a deep dive on the Tour Championship. Until then, so long, everyone.